Now that we've got our point data in a good format and we've added that last point to sort of close it off, we can go on to the next two steps, which are basically, again, trying to get us to the point where these guys are no longer just points, but are now going to be polygons where we can calculate the area for them. So the first thing we'll want to do is we'll want to stop editing. So we'll want to stop editing. Yes, we can save our edits. So here we are. And now we can move that guy. Now what we want to do is we're going to use two different tools. And the first tool we're going to use is, I think it's called points to line. Let's try this guy. Here we go, points to line. So this is just a tool which will create line features from points. So unfortunately, there's not a one-step thing in ArcMap, at least, to go from points to your polygon. So we have to do this intermediate step, which is to take our input features and to convert them into a line shapefile. So red 22 line. That's what we're going to call this guy. I'm going to save it. We don't need to worry about any of that, the optional ones, and we'll just say OK. It's thinking, it's calculating. All right, fantastic. Now we've got a new thing called red 22 line, which is a line which goes around our polygon of our perimeter values. And again, if we hadn't added in that additional point, the line would have just gone to here, and then it would have just stopped. And then we'd have this open gap here. And for us to actually calculate the area of a polygon, we need the thing to be closed off. So that's why we took that previous step. Okay, now we've got our line, and so the next thing to do is to say, I believe it's line to feature. It's always very intuitive. All right, let's see. Points to line, polygon to line, feature to line. Come on, I'm looking for this thing. Oh, I want to go feature to polygon. That's right. Polygon. We want to end up with a polygon. There's no E in there. Feature to polygon. Here we go. Feature to polygon data management. So here's our line inputs, and then this is the output, right? And so if we didn't have our line closed off, we'd be in a world of hurt. So let's try this guy. Red 22 line, that's our input. Our output is, I'm going to call it red 22 polygon. Just give that a try. We're going to save it. We don't need to worry about any of this other stuff. We say OK. Oh, we now have a beautiful pink polygon representing the area that we were working. Okay, so hey, but I want to know the area, right? This is the end. We're trying to get to our last step here. What is the calculated area of this polygon in square meters? Okay, so if we do a right click on this guy and we go to Open Attribute Table, this gets brought up. And so this is the polygon. There's just one polygon, and it's got some information here, ID and so on. The way that we're going to do this is we can use some sort of built-in functionality in ArcMap and to calculate the geometry of this polygon and ultimately to calculate its area. And so the way that we are going to do this is we're going to click up here. We're going to say we're going to add a new field. And this is important. We don't want to be an integer because we don't want to know it to just 1 meter. We want to have a little bit more precision. And so we're going to make it a float, and we're going to call this area. And we're going to put in some large values in the precision and the scale. I'm going to put in 14 and 14. Don't worry too much about these numbers. This is just about the number of decimal places and so on. So now we've got a new column here called area, but there's nothing in there. It's just 0, and we know that's not right. So we can do a right click on that guy, and we can go to calculate geometry. Okay, yes, it's fine. We can do it outside of it. Okay, so what do we want to calculate? We could calculate perimeter, the x-coordinate, blah, blah, blah. We want the area. And we want to use the coordinate system of the data source. This is why we set it as UTM in the first place, because we want to do it in meters. And it's already set for square meters. We could do it in square feet or whatever. I want it to be in square meters. And then we say OK. And then we say OK. Ah! And now we've got a value here, 4,059.4738. I know that these, once you get down into the tenths and hundredths and so on, this is we do not probably know it this tight, right? This gets into our what's our error and where did we place the pins in the survey field. So, but we've got a number here. We got 4,059, and we may want to sort of check that number out somehow. You could bring in the imagery that I showed you guys before and sort of go around there and create something. You could bring in Google Earth, and I've already gone ahead and done that. This is Google Earth. And you could, if you were interested in this, you could use the ruler tool in Google Earth, and you could make some calculations, right? You could sort of go around here, and you could calculate, right? And so, oh, this is very exciting, and whatever. I'm just going to calculate this and close it off, and this will tell me that this section was 724 and so on square meters. But you could do it for the whole thing. If you were using Google Earth Pro, you could get a pretty good handle. And so this is how you bring in the data into ArcMap, and you can end up with an area calculation for that.